Łudzinika.
Now 3-1 versus Zerg tonight, so they're turning the tides. They were 0-9 until today.
Yeah, they're typing a bit in chat. Classic's like, I got really annoyed in that game. Soulkey's like, why? And Classic's just like, well, you broke my wall, so that's about it. Even though he won, I guess they're just fooling around. Either way, we are about to go to Lurker Crest here for game number 2. Let's see if Soulkey can pull it back or if Classic will get that 2-0. Well, quick start here into this game. Big map. We're on Lurker Crest. PVZ does continue up in the top right in the red. Zerg player, it is Soulkey.
And down to the bottom right in blue, it is Classic. So even though this map is 4-player, it's not anywhere near the size of Saris. We're going to see an early probe scout again. Classic just knowing how to beat Soulkey in a best of 3. Even a gateway on the low ground, that's interesting.
And look at this, he gets lucky with the scout and he forces Soulkey to make a pool first. That is a very annoying start here for Soulkey.
It's like hasn't happened in Korea ever in Legacy of the Void. Remember when this used to happen every game?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Well, he's going to go for gas with this, so we are going to see at least speed coming out of Soulkey.
Classic is going to play safe. I feel like at this point, when you deny a hatch like that for that long, and you see the gas, I think one of the best ways for Soulkey to get ahead from here once he clears the probe out is to actually play kind of greedy. Because Classic is going to be playing really safe, just like in the previous game. Look at how much time he spent. He sent a second probe. He was heavily scouting his mothership core checking. He had a probe for emergencies. Even though he checked like as much as he could tell, all dangerous places, and he didn't see anything, he still kept the probe there because he was like, what if something crazy happens? Well, it did, and he was ready.
Yeah.
This is a cool wall off. It's very old school. A few players were doing this in like even Wings of Liberty when it wasn't as popular before Forge Fastest Bands got popular, and we don't see it as much in Legacy because people usually wall the top of the ramp, but this wall is much less vulnerable to a Ling all-in.
We're seeing more Lings come, okay? He made 6, now he's making 4 more, and he's making another 2, so he's definitely putting on the pressure. And he's not making any drones, so he's actually snuck in to the main.
The problem with a wall like this is if you can get past it, then you have a free run to the main. But the more money Classic gets when he has that second Nexus up, he can make a secondary wall at the top of his ramp, and he can improve this wall. The mothership core is going to have photon overcharge energy to be used on multiple pylons, and this probe confirms that more Lings are on the way. He's going full adept, you know, production.
Yeah, making a couple extra gateways to complete that wall as well. Very, very important. He knows what's going on here. He's identified the build once again.
Okay, Zealot's in the right spot. This wall is tight now with these 2 gateways, as you mentioned. He's going to have an extra pylon here. This is going to be very difficult to actually succeed with a Ling all-in.
Yeah, not sure. I mean, he's already transitioned into drones, so I don't believe he's still all in from here, but man, that's a lot of drones missed, and he's essentially got no damage done. He forced out some buildings earlier, and that's about it.
Yep, he's going to kill this pylon. I think he can trade a few Lings for that, even though it's still going to be a tight wall behind it. I like this because it just simply kills a pylon. It's 100 minerals down the drain for like 2 Lings. That's 50 minerals. And Warp Gate research nearly finished. Classic now having 2 bases saturated. Soulkey working on that 3rd. Again, checking with the probe. Very smart. Classic playing very safe.
Yeah.
Looks like that pylon actually unpowered the gate as well. I didn't realize. You see that? He actually thought about going Stargate and then switched it.
Interesting. Twilight Council. Stargate, pretty safe, you know, pretty normal. You get some Phoenixes out to clear out the scouting overlords out on the map. And just to make sure they don't go really spire or anything like that, I suppose he's just like, I don't really need that. I can get Twilight Council, put on the aggression. He's got a lot of Adepts out here. Looking to pressure a bit onto Soulkey.
No. Chasing the Lings away with the Shades themselves. Creep now starting to connect these bases together, but it's going to take a while. 6 Adepts versus 9 Lings. Definitely a good fight for the Protoss. Let's see if he actually commits to this. I think he's just going to try to scare the Lings away and cancel. Yep.
Thinking about a third base now. Going for Adept attack speed. Probably just looking to add a lot of Adepts into his army and just use them a little bit later on in the mid game and late game.
Dark Shrine.
Yeah, Dark Shrine. Still no Robo, so no Warp Prism play available just yet.
Looks like he wants to, with the Resonating Glaives upgrade coming out, looks like he wants to use DTs to kind of harass and draw Soulkey in different directions, and then follow perhaps with a big attack with Adepts. He's also getting a Robo. Every time I see the Robo, I almost want to say he's getting a Warp Prism, because that's what it's normally for initially. But
especially with the Dark Shrine, I mean, he is going for a Warp Prism here.
Yeah, it's most likely going to be his unit of choice once that comes up. He's constantly scouting with these Shades and threatening with them too. It's funny because a lot of people might wonder why does he shade with all instead of one if he really just wants to scout, because the Shade is invulnerable. But if you shade with all at the same time and the Zerg is out of position or starts attacking your Adepts that are where they actually are, then you just shade in and then he has to come back. So it's very threatening.
He's slowly built up a really nice Adept count. There are enough Roaches, I believe, to deal with this. Still not going to warp in. Threatening, actually, at the third base. He's got that attack speed now, and he's really flying through all these Lings. The Lings are not going to be able to fight these Adepts right now.
Very well controlled. Knows he fought the Lings until they were dead, and then he just actually went for the ran away from the Roaches. But this might be too aggressive. There's a lot of Lings here, plus Roaches. They're going to start targeting these down. You know, it looks like he actually still trades okay. They have a lot of health, even versus Roaches.
He doesn't warp out. That's kind of it. Oh, he's drawing everything into the main, and there's some DTs going towards what looks like the third base.
He's doing basically the opposite of what I thought he was going to do. He's attacking with the DTs after the Adepts draw the army away instead of attacking with the Adepts after the DTs draw the army away.
No Spore over here. There is an Overseer that has been made. So he's just going to pull these drones and get his units into position. At the same time, a Warp Prism looking to go into the main.
He actually goes for the hatchery instead of the Lurker Den that's morphing, but doesn't get either. Going to kill a Queen here, and there's no detection in the main base now, so he's going to lose a little bit more mining time, and now Classic is actually ahead in Harvesters.
Yeah, doing a really nice job with all of this harass. Finally, the Overseer comes back, but there's nothing to attack the Warp Prism because the Queen was killed so fast.
Oh man, sneaking in here again to the natural now, keeping DTs here, and Soulkey is being pulled apart by DT harass right now. Yes. Don't forget though that he has that Lurker Den on the way.
He does. He's lost 17 drones now, down to 48, and Classic has got 3 bases up to 3 base. Is going to have a lot of Phoenixes coming out here as well.
An interesting choice because the Phoenixes here, I mean, you already saw the Lurker Den on the way, as our observer just showed you guys. Phoenixes are scary because the one thing that Soulkey does have right now is a larger army and a lot of Hydras, and he can make a few Lurkers and try to siege up while he catches up in drones. As you can see, he's rapidly making those drones right now, but it looks like instead of attacking, he's just going to drone up and keep defending. But Classic is in a very comfortable position as a result. He's been ahead in Harvesters for so long. Getting that Forge up a bit late, though.
Yeah, he just needs to defend here just to make sure, you know, this 4th base for Soulkey is quite late. He does have the tech, but look at this. Just one DT in position is going to draw that whole army over to defend there, but it's going to have to be canceled. Tries to go for the drone, does fail.
Oh, could maybe try to drop again, decides not to. Lings, oh, he's going to go for it anyways. Okay, look at that. Leaves only 1 Hydra. That's not enough.
Overseer not
I think he's
in
going to
position.
get it. It's just barely?
Nah. It'd be funny if he tried to, like, go on the outskirts of the Overseer and push it away.
Yeah.
And then try to get, you know, 1 or 2 DTs in there to kill it. But
he wants to play like Bisu.
Yeah.
But
not going to try too hard this time around.
You know what, actually, that Warp Prism is still there, and he actually leaves with both the Overseer and his Hydras this time, but he's going to go to the main. There's a Spore and a Spine nearly finished waiting for him. It looks like he's just going to sack it, no?
He wanted 1 drone, he actually didn't click it, and there's no Spore over here. Yeah. Actually, with all these Phoenixes, he can just sit over here and get multiple drone kills for free, essentially.
Soulkey is always, you know, he's taking a lot of drone damage, but he's replenishing it. and he's building a very scary army. He finally has a lot of lurkers out. I actually want to check. He's making 2 more right now, and he's gonna have
6.
8 in total. He's got a lot of hydras and roaches. The time may now be to attack with that tech. There's no AoE. There's not that many immortals. There's no charges. Only just now started. And he has +1. This could be a good moment.
No upgrades for the Protoss except that adept attack speed.
Yeah, this could be the great time for him to turn this game around.
Suppose he's going to try to go for lifts on the Lurkers to survive, but going to come over here. There is no defense, but has to be careful about, ooh, this is really interesting. That's going to be enough to pull Soulkey back, actually, to defend this.
You know, this is working really well for Classic. If Soulkey decided to continue to attack, a lot of that Phoenix energy would have been wasted, and he couldn't really punish here. Oh, he doesn't have
the
Observe, but he
Lurkers.
thinks he did.
He's going to be able to pick up 1. There's no Hydras here to defend.
Classic is just running circles around Soulkey essentially in this game with all of this harass. It's been very expensive harass, but I feel like we're almost reaching the tipping point as to how much damage it's been able to do. He has had a 4th base for a long time, but it doesn't matter if he can't mine from it. He's barely been mining. He's lost an insane amount of workers.
Yeah, he's not mining.
Yeah, he's not mining
essentially
anymore.
has not mined from that base, so he's essentially been on 3 bases without 300 extra minerals. So
exactly, and he's he hasn't been able to pressure before Storm is out for Classic. Like, Storm is getting closer. You know, it's not even halfway done yet, but
look at how many Phoenixes are out on the map too,
which means mutas are totally out of the question.
Yeah, he just keeps on killing drones. He is not letting up. This Zealot harass isn't really doing much, but it pulls some of Soulkey's attention out of the way so that he can't deal with these Phoenixes.
Yeah. 9 Lurkers on the way, but he's got Storm and a ton of Immortals. This has been the way every Protoss plays PvZ once we get past the early Adept / Oracle play. Eventually you got 2 Stargate Phoenix, 2 Robo Immortals, Storm, and Charged Zealots every time. And Soulkey has seen this comp before. He's dealt with it before. He's got a ton of Lurkers.
This is going to be a ridiculous amount of Lurkers. 17 right now out on the map, and I think this is his moment to just go for the attack. He's saying, okay, I've got an insanely strong army. I'm going to siege up and kill you right now.
All right, well, look at all these Lurkers. He has to back up the ramp. 3 Observers here as well. He needs to keep those alive. More cannons coming, but the problem for Classic, as it was in his series versus Dark, he does not have a 4th base, and he's going to have a big problem getting one with all these Lurkers sieged up outside of his base.
He's just relying on all this harass to stick in it, essentially. He needs to get another answer to these Lurkers. He is going to draw a nice bit of the army back, and in the meantime is harassing a lot of these Overlords, actually, with the Phoenixes. Is going to lose a bunch of them, though. Yeah,
he was starting to eat into the max supply of the Overlords, dropping it down to 192, but now going to move out and try to catch these Lurkers out over on this side of the map before they're burrowed.
Storm's going down on the Lurkers, but is it enough? Doesn't seem like there's just way too many Lurkers, and a really nice concave of Hydras, too.
Yeah, this is really bad for Classic, and he still doesn't have a 4th base. Without a 4th base, he's never going to get Tempest. And without Tempest, I can't imagine he could deal with this army, you know? Like, what else could he
really
make?
Needs Tempest at this point.
And he doesn't have a 4th base of gas, so he can't kill these Lurkers. Even if he sees them, it doesn't matter.
He needs to do what he's been doing, I suppose, from here on out, which is pulling Soulkey apart, pulling back the defensive units that are defending the Lurkers, and maybe just trying to go for some lifts, trying to just attack them from multiple angles. He's still got that Warp Prism out on the map. Looks like he's just going to rely on more harass towards the 4th base.
If he had a hidden base with like a Warp Prism with a probe in it or something, I'd be really happy with his defensive position here, but these Zealot harassments are getting less and less effective. This time he just warped in like a whole Nexus and a little bit more worth of Zealots to kill 2 drones. He doesn't have a bank. He's starting to get mined out.
Well, he has pulled Soulkey all the way back.
Which has
Soulkey, it's really just a testament to his hardships dealing with all this harass. I mean,
yeah, it's been a theme in this game.
He's playing it very safe. You know, he doesn't want to lose those Lurkers undefended. But at the same time, it's this one Warp Prism that is still alive that's been warping in everything and just ferrying everything into position.
Look at the mining, actually, as well here. You can see it's pretty similar. I mean, Classic is about 200 minerals per minute down. The key is that 4th base and the 5th base now that Soulkey is making have been mining more minerals and they have more left. If Classic runs out of money at his natural, he's going to be on 1 base, whereas Soulkey's going to be on about 2.5 and soon to be 3.
Well, Classic cannot fight into this. He's got to back off. Going to use some storms to actually just zone out and force, once again, the Lurkers to burrow. He's buying time for that 4th base to get up, so as long as he doesn't get into a bad position, he should be okay.
All right, here comes storms. Huge storms on these Hydras, but again, where's the answer for the Lurkers? He has so many Immortals that it might just be too many. Moving forward here, the Lurkers on the right side still alive, going to wipe that Archon off the map.
Still has a lot of units out here, though. It looks like he's just going to back off. No more storms coming down on those Lurkers.
Oh, he lost his detection, though. Where's his detection?
Doesn't have any.
He doesn't have it.
He has to back off, and look at this. All these Hydras getting into position now to siege that 4th base.
That base is going to go down. These 2 observers over here would have been so useful a second ago, but they're not here anymore.
Soulkey choosing the safe route, just going to back off. A lot of those Hydras are very, very low.
Soulkey has done critical damage, but Classic keeps his base alive. It's mining. Only minerals right now, which is the less important of the resources. He needs gas.
Yeah, I'm not sure he can switch into Tempest at this point. He just wants to fight into Soulkey, get the money storms, and he is getting some decent ones.
Yeah.
And a lot of those Lurkers actually at the top are not burrowed, taking a ton of damage from the Immortals. Will it be enough, though?
It looks like he just forces them back just barely. He doesn't want to make Archons because he knows he doesn't have enough money to make more storms, so he's like, I gotta just keep these guys alive, but he does concede the point and make Archons instead, even though he really didn't want to. But now his base is sieged.
Yeah, at least the gas. You were talking about how important that is. He's relying on making Zealots right now. Not generally what you want. I mean, they do have charge and +3, but if they come from the front, they're going to be shredded.
All right, here we go. 1 observer here, by the way. If that goes down, it's basically game over. Okay, actually, he does have a second one. That one goes down now as soon as I say that. Good storms here, but he's still never able to gain any ground.
That one Lurker denying all the mining at that base, and Classic is just slowly being picked away at here.
I think that's game. There's a 5th base to the left side of the map now mining minerals. He has 1,000 gas bank. He just keeps remaking Lurkers.
Classic slowly trying to regain the ground here at the mining base.
Every time he kills a Lurker, 6 Zealots and 2 High Templar and probably an Archon die. And he has less money.
Story of PvZ, I guess. Well, now all these Lurkers in position. They're sieging that Nexus. He has to give it up.
Yep,
well,
down it
free
goes.
Mothership Core as well.
And there's no other mining Nexus. He doesn't even have one built. It looks like he might be sending a probe down to make one to the left of his natural, but it's just way too late. Way too late.
Yeah, Soulkey's got this space over here. Freely mining. Doesn't even need the gas. He's got a nice gas bank. It's going to slowly suffocate Classic now. Moving these Lurkers forward. Does not want to be caught unburrowed.
This looks like TVP from Brood War. And a little bit kind of like PvZ from Brood War, but Storms are much better in that game. I mean, this is like siege tanks moving up here.
Yeah,
with
here
Goliaths.
they come up the ramp. And Classic's barely got anything. Some more Zealots being warped in. But look at that clump of Lurkers. Even if they do get stormed.
He has so many more where they came from. And look at this Hydra Force. 1A to victory. That should be it. I'm surprised we don't even see it. There it is. GG.
Soulkey finally going to take out that game. With the help of his Lurkers, Classic was trying to harass Soulkey essentially out of the game, but he never had an answer to the Lurkers. He never took a 4th base. It's very hard to do on that map. Either you have to expand very close to the Zerg, who had a decent position with his Lurkers for the majority of the mid and late game there, or you need to expand really far away from your 3rd base.
Yeah.
So Classic was kind of just, you know, in a bind there, and he couldn't find an answer.
He killed drones, but never killed army. The army got bigger and bigger and bigger, and the 4th base never died. He killed the drones there. He made them run away. Probably like 12 times drones had to run away. But the army got bigger, and he never had that 4th. As you were just saying, I mean, you pretty much covered it. There's not much else to add on to your analysis because it's flawless. Now, let's see what Classic can get done in this 3rd and final game on Arena. Will he do an all-in type push like we saw from Patience? Or is he going to try to play the late game, try to